Welcome back, students. This is our lecture 1 of OMSM, which is Operations Management and Strategic Management. Okay. And this is for CMA Intermediate June 2023 attempt. Okay. So the coming attempt. So now this being our first lecture of the subject, I'll just give you an introduction of the subject. Okay. How it is based. So first of all, see here, here is the subject. Now, what I am showing is for syllabus 2016. So syllabus 2022 also it is very similar. So if you see operations management is of 70 marks. Okay, this is for syllabus 2016. Only difference in the new syllabus is that operations management is for 60 marks in new syllabus. Okay, here it is 70 marks, but the content is the same. Okay, there is no change in the course. Now for strategic management in old syllabus, we have 30 marks. Okay, 30 marks worth of strategic management. And in new syllabus, we have got 40 marks. That's the only difference. And here there is one small chapter which has been added in the new syllabus. Otherwise, whatever 3 chapters are there in strategic management of old syllabus, that continues to be there, right? So that's how we can say that this is very minor change in the new syllabus. So this lecture can be used for new syllabus also. Okay. So we are conducting this lecture based on the old syllabus study material, right? Okay. So, and yeah, regarding the pattern, the way we are going to conduct this lecture is, okay, this is basically an English and Hindi, okay, not English, like it is referred to as English, where English and Hindi both are used throughout the lecture. Okay, so this is English and Hindi separately. So basically, a student who doesn't understand Hindi, okay, will get 100% English here. So the first 30 minutes, I'll be speaking in English only. Okay, only English. And the next 10 minutes, same part which I've completed, I'll give a Hindi summary. Okay, right? Fine, clear. So again, the Hindi students are also giving the test in English medium. So which is why it will be good for them if they listen in English first, because you have to write in English in any way. And then when the Hindi summary comes, that it will be like very, very clear for you all. Okay. So this is how we plan to cover everyone. Okay. First 30 minutes English and next 10 minutes, the same part Hindi summary. Okay. So whole thing will be covered in English and Hindi. So you all should be attentive in the English part as well, because you have to write in English in the exam. Okay. Fine. So now, so this is how we are going to conduct it. Right now, about your chapters. Okay, I'm just taking you through the chapters. We have got 7 chapters in all in operations management. Okay, so 7 chapters are there for operations management. Okay. 1 minute, let me just open the study material and show you from the contents. It will be clearer. Okay, so this is your this is how your subject is split First part is operations management. Okay, this has got 7 chapters. Okay, we've got 7 chapters, and the biggest of them is chapter 4, production planning and control. Okay, so this we will do at the end. So what we're going to do, we'll first complete these 3 in the same order. Today we'll finish operations management, introduction, it's a small chapter, and then operations planning, and then chapter 3 is also a smaller chapter. It's a fully theory chapter, chapter 3. Okay, and then we will go for 5, 6, and 7. Okay, and then 4. So in between this, when we do these practical chapters, your strategic management is completely theory. Okay, so if we try to do it together, it will be very boring. Okay, so which is why there are 3 chapters of strategic management. So we'll just mix and match with your operations management. So basically, I can say after finishing 4 chapters of operations management, I'll do 1 chapter of strategic management. Okay, that will keep you interested. Okay, otherwise, doing strategic management together, although it's a small part, about 60 pages, you can say. Um, 70 pages. Okay, you can say 70 pages, but in our notes after curtailing, it's about 50 pages only. So it's small, but it is completely theory. Okay, so which is why it will be boring. We'll just mix it with this. Okay, so this is how we will do. तो यहाँ पे अभी मैं हिंदी में भी आपको ये बता देता हूँ कि किस तरह से ये सेट है हमारा कोर्स. ठीक है, तो ये 100 मार्क का पेपर है आपका, 100 मार्क्स का पेपर है. ठीक है, इसमें ऑपरेशंस मैनेजमेंट के 7 चैप्टर्स है, स्ट्रेटेजिक मैनेजमेंट के 3 चैप्टर्स है. ठीक है, 70 मार्क का ऑपरेशंस मैनेजमेंट, 30 मार्क का स्ट्रेटेजिक मैनेजमेंट. स्ट्रेटेजिक मैनेजमेंट जो है ये पूरी थियरी है. ठीक है, इसमें बिल्कुल एक भी न्यूमेरिकल नहीं रहेगा, ये कंप्लीट थियरी रहेगा. ठीक है, ये लेंथ में ज्यादा बड़ा नहीं है, ये सब्जेक्ट ही आपका छोटा है. ठीक है, इट इज द स्मॉलेस्ट सब्जेक्ट आपके सारे सब्जेक्ट्स में से. ओके, तो ये लगभग हमारा जो है आपका 85 टू 90 आवर्स के अंदर अंदर एक और ये हो जाएगा हमारा पूरा. ठीक है, फिर एक लास्ट में हम 15 आवर्स वर्थ ऑफ रिविजन रखेंगे. ठीक है, उसके बाद में तो इसके अलावा आपका ये जो 7 चैप्टर्स है ओएम के, ठीक है, ये काफी इंटरेस्टिंग है, काफी प्रॉब्लम्स भी है इसमें. तो इसको आपको अच्छे से करना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि आजकल ये जो पैटर्न है एग्जाम का, ये 70-30 ये स्ट्रिक्टली फॉलो नहीं किया जा रहा है. तो आपको ये मालूम नहीं है कि किस में से कितना आ जाएगा. ठीक है, इसलिए हमको पूरा कोर्स करना है अभी. ओके, सो पहले से आप लोग ध्यान रखेंगे और पूरा कोर्स कीजिएगा. ओके, तो इसके अलावा तो इतना है कि बाहर से नहीं पूछा जाएगा, जो पूछते हैं यहीं से पूछते हैं. ठीक है, लेकिन किस चैप्टर में कितना वेटेज रहेगा वो हम नहीं बता सकते. ओके, तो दैट इज नॉट श्योर, राइट. सो चलिए, तो ये है. और इसमें मैंने कहा कि जो प्रोडक्शन प्रोडक्शन प्लानिंग एंड कंट्रोल है, इसको लास्ट में करेंगे, सबसे बड़ा चैप्टर है सबसे, तो इसको आखिरी में करेंगे. ओके, तो पहले हम लोग अभी स्टार्ट करने वाले हैं इन 3 चैप्टर्स से. आज आपका 1 हो जाएगा, ये छोटा है तो आज ही हो जाएगा. ओके, 1 आज हो जाएगा, और फिर 2 लेंगे, फिर 2 and 3 इन द सेम ऑर्डर. ओके, एंड देन प्रोबेबली विल गो फॉर 5. 5 के बाद में आई विल टेक फर्स्ट चैप्टर ऑफ स्ट्रेटेजिक मैनेजमेंट. ठीक है, इस तरह से हम करेंगे. ओके, देन वी विल डू से 1 चैप्टर हियर, फिर इसका एक चैप्टर लेंगे ये, देन वी विल डू दिस. इस तरह से थोड़ा मिक्स इसलिए करेंगे कि आपको इंटरेस्टिंग बनाने के लिए. ओके, चलिए, तो इस तरह से हम ये करने वाले हैं. सो राइट, एंड so we are going back to our notes now. Okay, so with at the end of every chapter you will have a test. So today I hope to finish this. Okay, once I finish the chapter 1, I will give you a test on this. Okay, so you can write and take a photo and submit it to me for correction. Okay. And objective tests will continue in the app. Okay. So objective test for this also, this particular chapter also, I will load soon. Okay. Right. So, चलिए. So now we are talking about operations management. तो सबसे पहले एक चीज मैं बताता हूँ आपको. ठीक है, ये आपका चैप्टर क्या है? So what is the chapter here, right? So I'm going to follow what I've told you already. ठीक है, it will be 30 minutes will be English. Okay, if Hindi students also have question, you can ask here. ठीक है, but after 30 minutes is मैं time देख रहा हूँ यहाँ. Okay, the same part which I have covered in English, same part का आपको हिंदी summary दूंगा 10 minutes का, क्योंकि ऑलरेडी आपने सुना होगा 30 मिनट्स, 10 मिनट्स में आपको समझ में आ जाएगा पूरा जो मैं समराइज करूंगा इसको. ठीक है, राइट. तो इससे क्या होगा कि यू शुड हियर इन इंग्लिश ऑल्सो, क्योंकि आप सिर्फ हिंदी का आदत डालोगे तो यू विल नॉट बी एबल टू राइट इन द एग्जाम. ओके, दिस इज हाउ वी विल कवर इट. ओके, नाउ see, this subject is basically operations management and strategic management. Okay, ये सब ये क्या है? दिस इज ऑपरेशंस मैनेजमेंट एंड दिस इज स्ट्रेटेजिक मैनेजमेंट. ठीक है, सब फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड कि इसके अंदर के जो चैप्टर्स है वो सब देखने से पहले, बिफोर वी सी व्हाट इज इनसाइड दिस, ओके, व्हाट वी हैव टू सी इज what is the relation between operations management and strategic management. Okay, this you have to understand. A strategic management is your top management. Okay, top management will plan, okay, where we will reach. Let us say if whatever is the target, let's say they will plan 5 years in advance, 10 years in advance. Okay, say for example, if they are functioning in a technology, okay, they are using one technology. Now they know that life of the technology is 5 years. Okay, so the top management will have to plan in advance. After 5 years, which technology will I buy? What will be the cost of it? So that is strategic management, where they will not plan for the present. In strategic management, you will always plan for the future. Okay, so it will be at least 5 years in advance. So strategic management doesn't even talk about 2 years in advance. Okay, it is at least 5 years in advance, 10 years in advance. Okay, into the future, planning of the future. So which is why strategic management is also called as foresight. You have to foresee things. Okay, so I'll explain this in Hindi also, but let me now go to operations management first. Okay, so this is strategic management. Now operations management, basically it will start from the location. In which location, okay, we should start a company. So operations management will be, operations managers will be middle level managers. Okay, okay, middle and lower level managers, right? And strategic management will be what? Top managers. Okay, so middle level management will say, okay, in which location. Now strategic management people are thinking that, okay, 5 years later what we are going to do and all that they will think. Okay, so after they have decided all that, then next decision will be operations management. So they will help them decide which location. Okay, they'll tell, okay, we can have a plant in Chennai, we can have in Bangalore, say in India. Okay, and we can have in Pune, we can have in Mumbai. These are the main places they are saying. Okay, so now operations managers, they will suggest them. So if we say go for Bangalore, okay, then here, you know, we can find all kinds of employees. So if we want, we will not have only one language speaking employees. It's a cosmopolitan. Okay, I'm just taking a rough example. Okay, so So they'll suggest something like this, or they will also suggest rates of land. Let's say in Chennai, the rates are very high, in Mumbai, it's very high. But if we go for Bangalore or Pune, we can set up the same facility for 50 lakhs. Otherwise, we will need 1 crore. Okay. So this is how the middle level management will uh, just help the top management with their inputs. Okay. Because the middle level management are going to be on the location. Okay. They are going to be in the location. The operations managers, basically, they will be in the location. So which is why they can suggest the location better. Top management will not be at the location. Okay. They will be in the head office. Correct. ठीक है. तो यहाँ पे मैंने क्या समझाया आपको कि स्ट्रेटेजिक मैनेजमेंट और ऑपरेशंस मैनेजमेंट के बीच में रिलेशन क्या है. सबसे पहले जो है आपका स्ट्रेटेजिक मैनेजमेंट, ये टॉप मैनेजमेंट रन करता है. ठीक है. ये है आपका टॉप मैनेजर्स का पार्ट है. ठीक है. ये लोग जो डिसीजन लेंगे काफी ईयर्स अहेड रहता है. इनका जो डिसीजन लेंगे ये करंट में रहेगा ज्यादा. ठीक है. तो ये लोकेशन के लिए इनपुट देते हैं स्ट्रेटेजिक मैनेजमेंट. यहाँ से चालू होता है. ठीक है. जब लोकेशन का फैसला लेना होता है वहां से चालू होता है. उससे पहले और कई डिसीजंस होते हैं बिफोर द लोकेशन इज डिसाइडेड. विच बिजनेस वी शुड टेक. ठीक है. कौन सा बिजनेस अच्छा है, कौन सा ठीक नहीं है. ओके. ऑल दीज थिंग्स एंड ऑल आर टेकन बाय द स्ट्रेटेजिक मैनेजमेंट. तो जब लोकेशन में आते हैं तभी ये लोग पहली बार पिक्चर में आते हैं. ओके. सो इस तरह से आपका ऑपरेशन मैनेजमेंट का काम चालू होता है. लेकिन एक बार आपका लोकेशन डिसाइड हो गया, आपने फैक्ट्री ले ली है वहां पे. ठीक है. आफ्टर टेकिंग द बाइंग द फैक्ट्री, यू विल सी कि कैसा लेआउट होना चाहिए आपका. लेआउट यानी जो फैक्ट्री फ्लोर को कैसा कंस्ट्रक्ट करना. फैक्ट्री तो बहुत बड़ी होती है. ओके. It's not a small place, it's a big place. So you have to see what kind of layout you want. Okay. So you will have to see the layout so that, whatever machinery you are going to buy, you can very easily assemble them in your layout. Okay. That's why all these things have to be decided. Right. And then for running of the plant, what kind of software you need. Right. So that all your customers are happy. You can maintain whichever order has come in and whether it is going out at proper time as needed by the customer. Okay. ये सारी चीजें you see in operations management. So this is basically the relation between the two. So as of now we go ahead in operations management, you will understand this. Like as I said, it's more current things, more of current. The सबसे पुराना latest thing which is taken, earliest thing which is taken in operations management is factory location decision, and that too they don't take the location decision. They advise the top managers in the location decision. Okay. So operations management is more of current, strategic management is more of future. Okay. So now we have nothing to do with strategic management as of now. Okay. Later on we'll pick it up. Okay. So now operations management introduction. Okay. This is the first thing, which is operations management introduction. Now, what is operations management? It is management, okay, of that part of the organization. It's management of that part of the organization which is responsible for producing goods or services. Okay. Okay, now we are into operations management. So operations management mein, what we do is you manage that part of the organization that is responsible for producing goods or services. Okay. So what is the meaning of this? Responsible for producing goods or services. Now, any organization is like this. Okay. It is set up like this. Okay. So this is a factory. Okay. Let's say this is your factory and this is your office. Okay. All orders, all meetings with customers, everything will happen in the office. All your managers, okay, will normally be based in the office. Okay, there will be, some level of managers. Okay, after a certain level, they will also visit the factory to see if the work is done. But higher managers will be in the office only. Now, this is your factory. Okay, so now when orders come, orders come into the office. Okay, orders will never go directly to the factory. Orders will come into the office. Okay, so all your operations management basically functions from the office. Okay? When it functions from the office, it doesn't mean it has nothing to do with factory. Factory also reports to the office. The factory is under the office. Okay, factory is under control of the office. But operations management, in the definition, what we see is it is management of that part of the organization that is responsible for producing goods or services. Okay, wherever you have a big organization with a factory attached with an office, okay, operations management will mainly be handled by the office, but of factory reports to the office. So basically, what it means is operations management जो है, operations management covers this whole thing. Okay, right? It is responsible for managing that part, okay, which is responsible for producing goods or services. Okay, not producing goods, responsible for producing goods or services. So mainly it runs from the office, okay, but factory also comes within the purview. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे मैंने क्या बताया आपको कि जो पहला चीज बताया गया है, operations management is management of that part of the organization which is responsible for producing goods or services. Okay, तो ऑफिस जो है, ऑफिस इज द ब्रेन ऑफ द फैक्ट्री. ठीक है, ऑफिस के पास ही असली दायित्व होता है फॉर प्रोडक्शन ऑफ गुड्स और सर्विसेज. जब ऑर्डर्स आएंगे, ऑफिस डिसाइड करेगा कितना प्रोड्यूस करना है, कितना नहीं करना. okay? लेकिन आप ऑफिस को, फैक्ट्री को अनदेखा करके सिर्फ ऑफिस को नहीं चला सकते. इन दी एंड काम पूरा फैक्ट्री में हो रहा है. करेक्ट. सो विच इज वाई ऑफिस के साथ साथ फैक्ट्री जुड़ा होता ही है. राइट. सो विच इज वाई ओवरऑल हम बोलेंगे ऑपरेशंस मैनेजमेंट मतलब इसका मैनेजमेंट पूरा, रेड ब्लॉक बड़ा वाला है, इसका मैनेजमेंट इज ऑपरेशंस मैनेजमेंट. ओके, बट कहाँ से होता है, यानी कहाँ से मेन मैनेजमेंट चलता है, ये ग्रीन ऑफिस जो है आपका यहाँ से. ओके, so now, so this is a bigger example. Okay, this is a bigger example for a bigger organization. Okay, for a smaller organization, we will see, I will tell you. Okay, thoda sa, let's see what is being said now. Every email you send, every telephone conversation you have, ठीक है. So अगर if you are using the services of email, ठीक है, if you are using Yahoo services, right? So Yahoo का final product is email. ठीक है, for that they would have used many softwares, lots of employees. Okay, so basically when you send an email, you are actually using the operations function of the email organization. That is the end product. किसी के भी, any organization के end product से we can find out using the end product of any organization. Okay, means that you are using the operations function of the organization. Okay, similarly, all our examples are here, like if you are going to a hospital, okay, if you are using the hospital facilities, then you are using operations function of the organization. So operations function is always customer facing. Remember earlier example of office. Office is customer facing. Here also operations function will be customer facing function. There you will be giving final services to the customers. Okay, but that doesn't mean that entire product is produced there itself. Entire production can start at the factory for larger units. Okay, for smaller units, for example, I'll now give an example. Take an example of barber. cutting shop. Okay, now cutting shop, if you see here, okay, barber shop, barber himself is the operations manager. Okay, so he himself is the operations manager, and he has a shop. Okay, he has a shop. Okay, which is called operating system. Okay, ठीक है, तो operating systems के ऊपर हम आएंगे. Okay, so barber himself is the operations manager. Now this is a small example of operations management where you do not have to go to the factory for production. Okay, your factory is also the same barber shop, office is also the same. Customer will come and wait where? In the barber shop only. The office is customer is the barber shop. Okay, and your the service is being done at the same place. Okay, so this is a small example of operation system where in one shop, in one room, customer receiving function is also there and production is also happening there. Production there is what? Rendering of services. Okay, so chaliye, next is to have a clear idea of operations management. You must have idea of operating systems. Okay, so operations management, okay, will always operations management will work through operating systems. Operations management will work through operating systems. Okay, for bigger organization, what is an operating system? The system through it the operations management is handling the services, okay, or the production, whatever. Okay, so operating system basically is you have an office, right? An office, you will have some employees, right? You'll have you would invest a good amount of money in making the office good, correct? Because customers will be coming in the office, right? So office becomes an operating system. So using that system only, operations management is going to give service to the customer. Okay, so again, operating system. Okay, the head of the operating system is the office, right? But the operating system will not be complete without the factory, right? As we said. So now, ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे हमने क्या देखा? ऑपरेशंस मैनेजमेंट और ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम्स. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे अगेन चलते हैं हमारे बार्बर शॉप के एग्जांपल पे. ओके, यहाँ हमारा ऑपरेशंस मैनेजर था बार्बर. ओके, operations manager is the barber. Now he has a shop. This shop is the operating system. Okay, this shop for him, okay, is the operating system. This shop. Okay, so operating system में क्या रहेगा? Operating system will be a configuration of resources. यानी configuration of resources. That means some resources you will bring together. Say a receptionist, okay, the office building, okay, then attached to it will be a factory. This will be your operating system. For barber shop, what is the operating system? His shop, okay, it is his shop, fine, and then inside the shop there will be certain things which he uses, okay, like mirror, cream, some hair colors and all will be there. Okay, anything, so all these things and the shop, these things inside the shop. Okay, this is called as what? Configuration of resources. Okay, fine, समझ में आया आपको कि इसको बोलते हैं, यानी ये बेसिकली बार्बर शॉप का जो एग्जांपल है ना, ये सबसे बेसिक ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम का एग्जांपल है, क्योंकि वन रूम ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम है बेसिकली. ओके, so configuration of resources is what? Barber shop. Okay, operations manager is barber. Okay, owner is also barber, right? Then in this shop there will be some configuration of resources, these resources which we will be using to give service. Fine. And same thing, if this is a barber shop, if I go to a factory, a bigger one, okay, a factory is what? It's a bigger thing. So take a factory. You have one operations manager here. Now the operations manager here will not be the owner. Here operations manager is the owner. Okay. And now what will be the configuration of resources? Okay. One is office. Okay. Starts with office and office receptionist and papers, stationery or whatever is there. That's the configuration of resources plus factory, which will have your machines, tools, and laborers or employees. Okay. Okay. So what is operating system? It is the system which you are using to give service. Okay. It's a system which you are using to give service. Fine. In earlier case times, even now, I think you can find that there used to be some roadside barbers who just had a chair, correct? Just had a chair somewhere. They would be in the open. Okay, they didn't have a shop and all. Anyone comes, they would just make them sit there. There itself, they'll give the barber service. Okay. So what is the operating system for that? Just that chair and whatever they have. Okay. So whatever resources you are using to give service, that is your operating system. Just understand that. Okay. Right. So now what is an operating system? Okay. So operating system is what? Configuration of resources combined for the provision of goods or services. ठीक है, ये मैंने बोला था, configuration of resources combined for the provision of goods or services. What is configuration of resources? Like the barber shop and the items in the barber shop or the barber. For a big company, their office, all configuration in the office, okay, like receptionist, printer, all those things, okay, plus the factory and the configuration in the factory. That is configuration of resources combined. You have to combine all this to provide goods or services, correct? So for example, operating system examples you can see here: retail organizations, hospitals. Okay, retail organizations is basically your supermarket, things like that. Okay, it's a configuration of resources, right? They have kept all resources using that configuration where they have kept all items. Okay, you have to just go see the price and buy it, right? And then you go for billing. So all that is the configuration of resources. Retail organization, hospitals, okay, bus and taxi services. Bus also is a configuration of resources. The way they have designed the bus that customers can go sit, okay, you have chairs and all that, and they are given ticket, and then it transports them from one place to another. That is a service it is giving. So bus itself is a configuration of resource. Tailor is very similar to our barber example, correct? Tailors, hotels, dentist also is a good example, correct? They have configuration of resources. Dentist needs those tools. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे हमने ये देखे, बस इतना समझे, ये क्योंकि बेस है इसलिए मैं थोड़ा टाइम इसके पीछे दे रहा हूँ कि आपको ये समझना है कि ऑपरेशंस मैनेजमेंट क्या है. ऑपरेशंस मैनेजमेंट है, ठीक है, मैनेजमेंट ऑफ ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम. ठीक है, ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम क्या है? जैसे बार्बर के लिए शॉप है, ठीक है, हॉस्पिटल इटसेल्फ इज एन ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम, डेंटिस्ट का शॉप, ओके, क्लिनिक, वो ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम है. तो उसको जो मैनेज करता है वो है ऑपरेशंस मैनेजर. ठीक है, तो ये बेसिक चीज है. और बस ये आपको याद रखना है जो चीजें लिखा है मैंने, ठीक है, जस्ट गो बाय दिस. whatever is important has been underlined in a proper color. ठीक है, if you take a print, then take a color print, it will help you more than black and white print. okay, तो सब अंडरलाइन किए गए यहाँ पे, तो मैं हाईलाइट कर रहा हूँ आपको बताने के लिए, सो इट्स नॉट विजिबल, बट इन योर नोट्स इफ यू सी like this, like here you can see, right, important parts will be underlined. So just go through the underlined parts, you will get a good sense of it. Okay, right? Then yes, bold and underlined. So then चलिए, now what does an operating system do? ठीक है, अब now we are focusing our attention on the operating system. Okay, now operating system converts inputs using physical resources to create outputs. So operating system, what is an operating system doing? ठीक है, so operating system is basically, it is converting your inputs into outputs. Now you go into a barber shop with long hair, right? When you come out, you become a smart person with, proper haircut and shaved, right? So that is the output for services. Now even for goods, there will be some conversion in the raw materials. Finished goods will be prepared, that will be delivered to the customer, right? So an operating system converts inputs into outputs, okay, but using physical resources. Now barber is using his manpower and some tools to cut your hair, so those are physical resources, right? Everywhere. Now if say uh, no human being is working, let us say no human being is working, inputs will not be converted into outputs, right? You need to have some human element in it also, right? So operating system converts inputs into using physical resources to create outputs. What is the aim? The aim is to satisfy customer wants. Any operating system, its aim in the end is that customer should be satisfied. Okay, right. So then inputs such as capital, labor, information are used to create goods or services. Inputs such as capital, labor, and information, okay, are used to create goods or services using transformation process. Now, what does this mean? Inputs such as, so for inputs, what do you need? You want to buy some raw material. You need some capital, right? Without capital, you will not be able to buy that, correct? So for inputs, you need capital, you need some labor, you have to pay the labor. For preparing your input, you have to pay the labor, right? So basically you need capital, you need labor, okay, and information. Okay? So information is, in the modern times, you need information, that is, you need proper software and all to process things, correct? So if you are actually, if you are a Xerox center, then you need proper information, how to process different kinds of Xerox and all that. So inputs, different kinds of inputs like capital, labor, information are used to create goods and services, okay, using what? Transformation processes, okay. Transformation processes are like storing, transporting, cutting, okay. So even like this cutting, they are referring to cutting of certain things, but even our barber shop cutting, if you see, that is also a transformation process, okay. So in this different industries, transformation process will be different, okay. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे हमने क्या देखा कि ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम कन्वर्ट्स इनपुट यूजिंग फिजिकल रिसोर्सेस, ठीक है, ओके, और उसको कन्वर्ट करता है आउटपुट, इनपुट को आउटपुट में कन्वर्ट करता है, यूज क्या करता है? फिजिकल रिसोर्सेस, ठीक है। फिजिकल रिसोर्सेस यानी एनी फिजिकल थिंग, आपका खुद का मैन पावर इज ऑल्सो फिजिकल रिसोर्स, ओके, एंड ऑल इक्विपमेंट यू यूज इज ऑल्सो अ फिजिकल रिसोर्स, ओके। सो नाउ इसी को हमने एनलार्ज किया है यहाँ पे, ओके। यहाँ पे जो इनपुट बोला गया है ना, अब ये इनपुट क्या है? कैपिटल, लेबर एंड इंफॉर्मेशन, ठीक है। इनपुट इज कैपिटल, लेबर एंड इंफॉर्मेशन, इससे आप फाइनल प्रोडक्ट्स बनाते हो यूजिंग ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन प्रोसेस, ठीक है, ओके। नाउ नेक्स्ट इज ऑर्गेनाइजेशन टेक्स मेजरमेंट्स एट वेरियस पॉइंट्स। सो ये यहाँ बात कर रहे हैं हम स्टैंडर्ड्स की, वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट स्टैंडर्ड्स। So organization takes measurements at various points. Okay. So every organization will have some standards. Okay. So if you have produced some products, right, then you will see how good is that product, right? So you will have some standard, because if the standard goes down, then in future nobody will buy your product, right? You have a standard of comparing whether everything is fine or not. Okay. So when you take measurements at various points, that means you're comparing actual with standard. Okay, that is called as feedback. Okay, that measurement which you take, whether it is correct or not, okay, to compare with previously established standards, that is called as feedback. Okay, feedback is nothing but just seeing if so see, normally when you go to certain say service centers or somewhere, in the end they give you a feedback form, ask for feedback. That means how was their service compared to your expectation. So your expectation is the standard, okay, and how they have performed is the actual. Okay, so that comparison when you write and give, that is called feedback. Okay, now remember one thing. Okay, just remember one thing, in feedback it's not always human. We would tend to believe that feedback, a human is writing in a form, right? That is feedback, that's what we think. It's not like that. Okay, it can be machine also. Machines also will give feedback. Always see, many machines collect data. Okay, they'll be collecting data, and at the end of the period they will give you an actual figure, and they will give you a standard figure also. So here, without any human intervention, your feedback has been generated. Okay, feedback can be automated also. That is another thing, that who will automate it? Human only will automate it, right? But feedback can be automatic also. Not essential that everywhere human will give feedback. Okay, इंसान ही फीडबैक देगा ऐसा कोई जरूरी नहीं, ठीक है? मशीन भी फीडबैक देते, मशीन बस आपको इस तरह से डेटा दे देंगे कि आप कंपेयर कर सकोगे डायरेक्ट. ओके, फाइन. So acha, now feedback de diya hai. Okay, feedback has been given that this is not correct. If it is not proper, what is the next step of the manager? Correct it. If it is not proper, what will the manager do? He will try to correct it. So that is called as control. Control function bolte hain usko. Okay. So feedback is bringing standard and actuals together and showing the variance. Feedback, by feedback we are showing the variance, and based on variance, corrective action is initiated using the control function. Okay, so corrective action is always on the, it's a managerial action, okay, not at the employee level. Okay. Now last point in this section is, remember, goods and services often occur jointly. Okay, so you will, there is nothing called a pure service, okay, or there is no pure goods. Now say in a barber shop, ठीक है, अगर हम बार्बर शॉप का एग्जांपल लेते हैं, ठीक है, तो इसमें हम बोल सकते हैं कि ओवरऑल जो बार्बर कटिंग कर रहा है उसका जो स्किल है वो है 80%, हम बोल सकते हैं, करेक्ट. 20% वो जो भी यूज करता है, इक्विपमेंट या क्रीम जो भी है, ओके, 20% इज गुड्स, करेक्ट, 80% इज सर्विस. बार्बर शॉप, अब ये जो है हर जगह बदलते रहता है. दिस परसेंटेज is different. Okay, you will find cases in barber shop 80% is service which he is providing, 20% is cream and all those things whatever he is using. Okay, so right, so this can be at, in some organization you will find this 95%, this will be 5%. Okay, some, in some cases this can be 95 or 90%, this can be 10% only. Okay, but both will be there in a product, right? Both will be there in a product. ऐसा कोई product नहीं होता जिसमें you do not have service element at all or goods element at all. That it can be very less, but it will be there. Okay. So this is called as so goods and services occur jointly. Okay. Goods and तो ये आपका this can be your objective type question. Goods and services occur singly, jointly. ठीक है, ये पूछ सकते, ये आपको मालूम होना चाहिए. Goods and services often occur jointly. Okay. Now, चलिए, now we are going to talk about another topic, which is customer service and resource utilization. Okay, customer service and resource utilization. ठीक है, ये क्या चीज है हम देखेंगे. Okay, so here, ठीक है, here this is basically your objectives of operation management. Okay, so objectives of operations management जो है ये भी important है आपके लिए. What are the objectives of operations management? One is customer service, another one is resource utilization. Okay, these are the objectives of operations management. Okay, so one is customer service. So customer service has to be good, otherwise customers will not come in future. But resource utilization, resource utilization means to give service how much resource you are utilizing. Okay, to give service how much resource you are utilizing. Okay, that is resource utilization. I'll give you an example. Okay, so just see here. Now, say there is one person who is charging 1,000 rupees for a service. Okay, right? And minimum profit which he expects is 200 of whatever work he is doing. That is the minimum profit. Okay, so 800 can be his cost, correct? So he will give customer service maximum to the extent of 800, correct? अब 800 के ऊपर आप देखिए, for customer you have a customer. Okay, you give him tea, he'll be happy with you. Okay, you give him some good cold drink, costlier one, he'll be happy. Okay, give him even something really good, very costly sweets, pack 500 rupees sweets and give to him. Will he be unhappy? He'll be happy, right? Give whatever you want, you can give. But you will have to stop at some place, correct? You know that what is your profit in this transaction. Okay, so you want to give customer service, but you can only give it to an extent. Okay, not beyond it, right? So for example, to get the cost of 800, maximum you can give is cold drink. Okay, so if you want to make it happier, okay, don't give him tea, give him cold drink, spend little more, but beyond this you cannot do. Okay, समझ में आया ना? Okay, कुछ रिपीट करना होगा तो आप पूछ लेना मेरे से, ठीक है? हिंदी में कुछ रिपीट करना होगा, कुछ नहीं समझा होगा. Okay, so that is customer service plus resource utilization. Okay, so resource utilization is what I said, that you will utilize all resources, there will be a cost to it. Okay, that is your resource utilization target. Customer service is, of course, whatever service you are giving to him. You always have to balance these two. Okay, now customer service, it means satisfaction of customer wants. Okay, and satisfaction of customer wants is the key objective of operations management. Number one objective is customer service. satisfaction of customer wants. Because if the customer is not satisfied, then your business will not continue. So it is most important. Okay. So operations management, what it has to do, satisfy the customer in terms of cost and timing. Okay. Actually, what operations management does is it satisfies the customer in terms of cost and timing. Fine. So basically, from the customer point of view, this is from the customer's point of view. Okay. What in customer service, a customer expects a product at a particular cost and at some timing. Okay. For example, okay, now let's keep a consistent example. Okay, so it will be easier for you to understand. Let's continue with our barber shop example. Okay, so you have gone uh, for the barber. Okay, for cutting, right? So now he is whatever he is charging, that is within your limit. Okay, so he has satisfied you in terms of cost. Okay, so for a cutting, for one cutting, he is charging let's say 100 rupees. Okay, and you are okay with it, with whatever quality he gives. So you are satisfied with cost. Now second, let's come to timing. Okay, now you are sitting now. So when you've gone to the shop, there are another 5 people sitting already. Okay, so you don't have the time now. You don't have that much time because tomorrow morning, next day morning, you have a meeting. Okay, you cannot wait now. So he could not satisfy you in terms of timing. Understanding? Okay, that's called as cost and timing. Timing is also important. Certain things when you want, at that time you want, you do not get at that point, then it is of no use to you, and many things like that, right? And in many cases we can wait. Timing is such that it is flexible, you can wait for some time. Normal cases, if today there are 5 people, what do? We don't change the barber immediately. Okay, we go back, then we come next time, right? So operations management satisfy the customer in terms of cost and timing. Okay, so here, so they've summarized this. Cost and timing is, what do you want? Right thing at the right price at the right time. So when you are going to a barber shop or to buy any product, what do you see? You decide what you want, correct? So right thing, product, this is the product. Right price, you see the price also. Okay, sometimes product is good, but the price is too high, so we don't go for it. Right thing, right price, and right time, which we just discussed, timing. Okay, so this right thing at right price and right time, this is mentioned as specification, cost, and timing. Okay, the three aspects of customer service. So customer wants to be satisfied on these three things: right thing, right price, right time. So this right thing is called as specification technically. Okay, right price is called as cost, and right time is timing. Okay, these are the three aspects of customer service. You should remember this. ठीक है, ये पॉइंट समझ में आपके? यहाँ पे मेन आपको ये देखना है, कोई भी कस्टमर जो है, उसको जो प्रोडक्ट उसको चाहिए वो कस्टमर को मालूम होता है. ओके, व्हाट ही वांट्स. आपके बाल बढ़ गए हैं तो आप डिसाइड करोगे आपको कब कटिंग करना है, राइट? बार बार डिसाइड नहीं करेगा. सो राइट थिंग, यू नो व्हेन यू वांट cutting and what you want, that you know. But what you will see is you get it at the right price and at the right time. ठीक है, तो ये तीन चीजों के लिए, ये हमारा लेमैन वर्ड्स में, राइट थिंग, राइट प्राइस, राइट टाइम. इसी को अगर हम टेक्निकल वर्ड्स में अगर डालेंगे तो राइट थिंग जो है, ओके, इसको बोलेंगे स्पेसिफिकेशन. राइट प्राइस जो है आपका, इसको बोलते हैं कॉस्ट. राइट टाइम इज टाइमिंग. ठीक है, दीज आर द थ्री एस्पेक्ट्स ऑफ कस्टमर सर्विस. ओके, फाइन. Okay, so these three aspects are the principal dimension for operations managers. Okay, these are the principal dimension for operations managers. यानी ऑपरेशंस मैनेजर्स को अगर आपका प्रोसेस को सक्सेसफुल बनाना है, ये तीन चीजों पे ध्यान रखना पड़ेगा. स्पेसिफिकेशन, कॉस्ट एंड टाइम. You have to keep on adjusting it. Okay, so this is the principal dimension for operations manager: specification, cost and timing. Okay, चलिए then. Okay, so now next is what we are going to see is principal customer wants. ठीक है, next thing is principal customer wants, यानी कस्टमर को क्या चाहिए. तो यही हमने देखा है. ओके, वी सॉ दिस हियर इटसेल्फ. कस्टमर नीड्स right thing at the right price at the right time. Okay, and specification, cost and timing. That's what customer needs. Okay, so now ठीक है, so customer needs जब उसको wants भी बोलते हैं, we call it wants also. Needs is equals to wants. Wants is an economic term. Okay, wants means needs. Okay, so principal customer wants, the same thing here. Okay, we are just now enlarging this concept now. Specification, cost and timing. Okay, we are enlarging this concept. The first thing is, okay, so here you can see the functions. Okay, here are the functions in which kind of business you are into. You can be in manufacture, you can be in transport. Okay, you can be in supply. Now supply basically is nothing but combination of manufacture and transport. You manufacture and you send it to the customer, then you call it supply, correct? So this is supply, or last can be service. Okay, so these are the four ways we can divide function. Manufacture, transport is if it is only transport business you are doing, or if both together you are giving, you call it supply. Okay, or service, right? Service also, when you give end service, it will be a supply. Okay, so these are the four ways you can see it. Okay, principal functions. So here, okay, now here next thing what we are going to see is what is the primary consideration and what is the secondary or other consideration. Always primary consideration will be what is the product you want. You want a product, right? If you are in need for a particular product, you will go for that product, right? So that is the primary need for you. Okay, the primary consideration is always the goods or services. Okay, in specification, cost and timing, specification is the goods. Okay, so primary consideration is goods as specified. Okay, for manufacture, it's goods as specified. Other consideration is this specification. This is here you will find cost and timing. So this is cost. Other consideration is cost and timing. What is timing? Time between order and receipt. Okay, time between order and receipt is the time. Now for transport, okay, if you are only taking say transport service, then for transport, in transport you will not think about goods, you will think about movement, correct? If you want to move from one station to another or from one bus stop to another, okay, that will be the most important thing first. Okay, will you get into a bus which is going to some other place just because it is giving a lower cost? No, right? Okay, I'll summarize this table in Hindi also. Okay, let me just finish it. So goods as specified, sorry, in transport we will say movement as specified. Okay, because here it is movement, not goods. Again, so this is specification, primary consideration. And here it is cost and timing. So cost will be cost, okay? And in timing, what you will see in service is duration to move, okay? Think of a bus. You will see from your stop to next stop, this bus will take 30 minutes. You are happy with it, okay? That you will see one duration to move. But in transport, you will see one more thing. Wait from requesting to commencement. If the bus is not going to start in another half an hour, then you might change your opinion, correct? So in transport, there are two things. You see the duration of movement. Okay, that is the real time of service, but you have some wait time. This you can understand this very well from barber shop example also. Okay, because transport is a service actually. Okay, so from a service point of view, there also in barber shop, in how much time he does the service for you. Once you sit in the chair, say he finishes in 45 minutes, you are happy with it. Okay, but now this, if there are two customers waiting, your decision will be different. If there are five customers waiting, your decision will be different. Okay, you might not wait there. So which is why in transport, it will be divided into two. But in both these things, primary consideration and other consideration, always, it is those three things only. In primary, it is specification. Here, it is cost and timing. Okay. This is very important. Principal customer wants. Okay. So then next is supply. So supply is nothing but when a manufacturer is manufacturing and sending it on his own. That will be supply. So that's why. So when manufacturer is manufacturing and sending, he will bill it as goods only, right? He will not bill it as service, right? So which is why in supply, you will you have the same as goods. Goods as specified here. Okay. So in supply, if you see, you have goods as specified here. Here also you have goods as specified. Okay. Here also you have cost and timing, time between, okay, time between order and receipt. Okay. Here also you have time between order and receipt. Cost and time between order and receipt. So basically, this is exactly the same as, this is exactly equal to this. Okay. Supply is the same as manufacture, right? So, and then last is service. Now, as we saw here, transport is also a service. Okay. You have separated it, okay, just to show transport as a separate thing. Okay. But actually transport is also a service. So transport will be same as service because it is service only. Only thing is in transport, you use the word movement. Okay. You use the word movement and here you use the word treatment for service. Okay. That is the only difference. Otherwise, this is cost and timing. It is same. Cost is same here. Okay. Cost is same. Here is also cost. And then you have timing. What will be there in timing? One is you will see duration to move. Okay. And here you will call it duration of treatment. That's all. Use the word treatment for service. But the thing is the same. Second is wait from requesting to commencement. Okay. Wait from requesting to commencement. Okay. Second is wait from requesting to commencement. Here also you have wait from requesting to commencement. Okay. See, wait from requesting to commencement. Fine, understood. So basically, your 1 and 3 are same, 2 and 4 are same. In 2 and 4, just remember, use the word movement in transport because it moves, correct? And in service, you are treated. So you'll call it treatment. That's ठीक है. तो यहाँ पे हमने क्या देखा, ये जो है, so all these things, one more thing I want to tell you. So these list of principal customer wants, whatever this states, okay, this is the primary important, it holds primary importance for operations managers. The above will influence operations managers decision, okay, to achieve required customer service. So this 4 is very important for operations manager. And these four are based on what? Based on right thing at right price at right time, which is nothing but specification, cost and time. Okay, nothing but specification, cost and time. Got it? ठीक है, तो अब ये वाला पार्ट मैं आपको क्विकली समझा देता हूँ हिंदी में, ठीक है। तो ये हमने देखा सबसे पहले कि ऑपरेशंस मैनेजमेंट सेटिस्फाइज द कस्टमर इन टर्म्स ऑफ कॉस्ट एंड टाइमिंग, है ना। आप कस्टमर को क्या चाहिए? सही चीज चाहिए, राइट थिंग, सही प्राइस में चाहिए और सही टाइम में चाहिए। तीनों में से एक भी नहीं हो तो उसको मोस्ट प्रोबेबली ही विल नॉट गो फॉर द प्रोडक्ट। ओके, राइट। तो इसमें हमने देखा कि राइट थिंग का क्या टेक्निकल नेम है? इट इज स्पेसिफिकेशन, ठीक है। देन right price is called as, technically called as cost, fine, and right time is called as timing. Okay, this is the technical name. So now here we are using the three same things. Okay, primary consideration is specification, other consideration is cost and timing. Okay, this cost and this time, fine. So इसमें बस we are trying to see what is the need for various principal functions. So first is manufacture, second is transport, third is supply. Supply is combination of these two. Okay, so manufacture, transport, supply and service. Now service and transport will be similar because transport is nothing but a service. Okay, so here we saw that for manufacture, what is the specification? Specification is the primary consideration. It is the goods which the customer requires, correct? In any case, जो goods आपको चाहिए वही आपको चाहिए ना। आपको अगर 10 किलो शुगर चाहिए तो आप थोड़ा कम क्वालिटी ज्यादा क्वालिटी आप देख लेंगे, लेकिन शुगर की जगह आप गेहूं तो लेके नहीं आएंगे, करेक्ट, राइट। तो इसीलिए प्राइमरी कंसिडरेशन इज द गुड्स, और अदर कंसिडरेशन में कॉस्ट एंड टाइमिंग। कॉस्ट कॉस्ट ही रहेगा हर इसमें। ओके, टाइमिंग मीन्स टाइम बिटवीन ऑर्डर एंड रिसीट। आपने आज ऑर्डर किए सपोज, ओके, कोई ऐप से ऑर्डर किए, जब ऑनलाइन ऑर्डर की और वो एक दिन में ला रहा है, इफ यू आर ओके विथ इट, ओके, if you're okay with it, then you will say yes, okay, and then you are fine, you will take it. The time lag between order and receipt, that will be time, ठीक है। So now this is manufacture, and what I told you is it is same for supply, exactly the same. The supply is same when you manufacture and you are sending it also, this will be supply. Okay, when someone is manufacturing it and sending it to the customer, he will call it supply of goods only, correct? So which is why supply will be supply of goods only. So it is same as this, supply and manufacture. Okay, and next thing is your, okay, next thing is transport. Okay, transport is a service. Now transport, what you will see, movement, correct? This secondary, this will be primary consideration is movement, secondary is cost. Okay, but it is other consideration, it is there, you will consider it, but okay, but if movement is not as per your requirement, you will not go for it at all. In cost, maybe you will have some range to decide, right? ठीक है, तो यानी यहाँ पे आपका, अगर आप जाना चाहते हो एक एरिया, अगर बस है दूसरे एरिया की, बहुत ही सस्ते में दे रहा है आपको या फ्री में लेके जा रहा है आपको, मान लीजिए, अब जाओगे उस बस में जो आपके एरिया में नहीं जा रहा है, नहीं जाओगे, राइट? यू वांट मूवमेंट एज स्पेसिफाइड। ओके, so transport is movement as specified, cost is the same for all four, ठीक है। cost will be other consideration, timing for transport will be duration to move and wait from requesting to commencement. Okay, wait from requesting to commencement. 1 minute. Okay, so in timing you have you will see two things. One is duration to move. So say for a bus you will see, okay, 30 minutes is the time of the bus, time taken by the bus, we are okay. Now wait from requesting to commencement for bus to start, ठीक है। कई बार क्या होता है कि जो बस वाले लोग जब तक भरता नहीं है बस, वो रुकते हैं, ठीक है। कुछ बस है जो आप उसके स्पीड से यू आर ओके, सही टाइम में पहुंचा रहा है, लेकिन वो 30 मिनट्स लगाता है बस भरने के लिए, तो आपको ये भी एडिशनल वेट टाइम हो जाता है, और पहुंचाता है आपको 30 मिनट्स में। ठीक है। और एक बस है वो थोड़ा स्लो है, 45 मिनट्स में आपको पहुंचाता है, लेकिन वो इमीडिएटली जा रहा है, तो कौन सा बस लेंगे आप? ये वाला लेंगे। करेक्ट। टोटल टाइम आपको 45 मिनट्स, इसमें टोटल टाइम 60 मिनट्स हो गया ना। तो इसीलिए मूवमेंट में ये दो चीजें देखनी पड़ती, ड्यूरेशन टू मूव, वेट फ्रॉम रिक्वेस्टिंग टू कमेंस। Okay, then now transport is a service, so that's why last one is service, same as your transport. Okay, just here you are using the word movement because your transport will move, and service use the word treatment. That's all. Otherwise these points are also same. Okay, so now this table is very important. Above will influence operations managers decisions to arrive at the required, to achieve the required customer service. ओके, सो इसको, ये टेबल को शॉर्ट में आपको देखना है, तो बस ये है बेसिकली, राइट थिंग एट द राइट प्राइस एट द राइट टाइम, और स्पेसिफिकेशन कॉस्ट एंड टाइम. ओके, right? So this is customer service. So we had seen there are two main objectives of operations management: customer service and resource utilization. Okay, so I had given you an example that, say, 1,000 rupees is the price you are getting from the customer. Okay, it is the let us say your selling price. Okay, 1,000 rupees what you are getting, and you need a profit of 200. Okay, so your cost target is 800 here, right? You cannot go beyond 800. If it is less, well and good. The cost is 800 here, target. Okay, that's what I said, that if you have two options of customer service. Okay, let's say you can give tea to the customer, you can give a costly cold drink. Okay, right? Suppose you can get tea for 10 rupees. Okay, this kind of cold drink you will get for 50 rupees. Okay, and you have another option, you want to make him still happy, then what you do is uh, give him a box of costly sweets for 500. Okay, so here, say if you give him 10 rupees tea, okay, so your cost is under 800. If you give him 50 rupees cold drink, still it is under 800, and you feel that he will like cold drink more. So that time you can take a decision, don't give him tea, go for this. Okay, cold drink, right? Because it is still under your cost target. But if you give this costly sweets of 500, he'll be really happy. Okay, but by doing this, you are going above your cost target of 800. Cost is becoming 950, let us. Correct? So then you will not do it. Right? So that's why there are two things in customer service. One is customer service. Okay, you make him happy, but don't make him happy at your loss. Okay, so this example is for that. That is called as resource utilization. Resource utilization is your cost. So basically how you are utilizing the resources so that you stay within the cost target. Just to make him happy, you cannot increase your resource utilization. Okay, so resource utilization will give you your profit. So it's very important for you. Okay, it's not important for the customer. So here, so you can see, so all this, wherever, see, actually I've underlined all these things in whichever are the important words, right? You can see that in the notes. So if you just go through those important words, you will understand the whole thing fully. Okay, so this is how I'm going to give you notes this time, right? So now resource utilization. For example, in resource utilization, the important point is with effective operations, efficient use of resources. Effective operations means that you should give him, the operations should be effective, means you should give it, it should be cost effective for you. Effective means it should be cost effective. You should not go into loss. And efficient use of resources. Okay. So basically effective means at the right time. Okay. Effective means at the right time. Operations should be effective. That is, the customer should get what he wants. Okay. The specification, cost and timing that he should get properly. Okay. That this is your use of resources. You should not exceed your cost also. Okay. That is called as efficient use of resources. Customer service must be provided with effective operations through efficient use of resources. Okay. So if you have inefficient use of resources, okay, if your use of resources is inefficient, okay, so your customer is very happy, but you are going at a loss. Okay. Or inadequate customer service. The customer himself is not happy. Okay, you are working at a very low cost. The customer is not happy, so customer is not coming, there is no sales. So both these are not good place to be in. Okay, but this will result in a commercial failure of an operating system. Fine. But if any of these two happens, you have to balance it well, that customer service is also done. At the same time, your operations are also effective. Okay, understood? Fine, understood this part, resource
Yes, sir.
utilization?
Yes, sir.
ओके देन, ओके, तो ये हिंदी में समझाने की जरूरत नहीं है ना, ये फिर से?
नहीं सर, हमारा चल।
चलिए, तो आगे चलते हैं. सो नाउ नेक्स्ट इज utilization of resources. Okay, now this is a continuation of this point only. Okay, so utilization of resources means obtaining maximum effect from resources or minimizing their loss, underutilization or waste. Okay, so utilization of resources तो आपको मालूम ही है, like from the name you can make it out, right? So utilize your resource for the in a best possible way. ठीक है? So like for example, from a smaller thing, if someone is using say painter using paint, whenever he is not using, even for a small while, he will cover it. Okay, he'll cover it because it will evaporate. Okay, तो इस तरह से आपको ये देखना है कि just make sure that your utilization of resources is such that your loss is minimized. Okay, and right, and the amount which you are putting into, say for each you are painting some, let us say some plates. Okay, and you are putting, let us say 500 milliliters of paint, right? So if you can do it carefully and just utilize, let us say 450 milliliters and still paint it well, so you should do this, correct? So loss, underutilization or waste. Okay, so how it is measured that your utilization of resource is good? Okay, how will you measure your utilization of resource? You'll measure by available time used. Okay, so when it is time, say you should have done the work in 100 minutes, you have taken 120 minutes. Okay, time wise you can measure it. Space utilization, okay, you can measure it, because if you take more space, it will result in more rent. Okay, then levels of activity. Levels of activity is like basically how much sales, how much production you can generate. Okay, so in this way you can measure it. चलिए, अब ये देखेंगे हम नेक्स्ट जो है, ओके, satisfactory customer service, and resource utilization. So this is what we had seen earlier. Satisfactory customer service and resource utilization. If you try to satisfy him more by giving him sweet box, as I told you, 500 rupees sweet box, okay, then you will go at a loss. Your resource utilization will go for a toss. Okay, so which is why you should give satisfactory customer service, but you should also not go at a loss. In our example, what you should have done, you should have given him cold drink, not the box of sweets. Okay, so the thing is, like we have seen, improvement in one leads to deterioration in other. Correct? So if you give him that box of sweets, he'll be really happy. So you have improvement here, but there is deterioration here. So you have to manage both. Okay, improvement in one will lead to deterioration in the other. Operations managers must balance both. Okay, so now, right, so now next is operations management. Okay, is different from other functions like personnel, marketing, finance, etc. by the below feature. Okay, operations manager is different from other functions such as personnel, marketing, finance by the below feature. What is the difference between operations management and other functions? In operations management, you convert by using physical resources. Okay, you're converting something in operations management. In the barber shop example, you've gone with long hair, but you have come out a smart person with short hair and well trimmed beard, whatever, right? So there is some change which has happened. Similarly, for production or manufacturing, raw material is getting converted to something that is being sold to the customer. So there is conversion by using physical resources. Okay. So, okay, give me just 1 minute. I'll just put it on chat. Okay, so that's called as conversion by using physical resources. Next is scope of operations management. Okay, this activity is listed under productions and operations management. So operations management, whenever they use the word productions in operations management, it is the same as operations management. Okay, so, earlier operations management is a current term. Okay, 50 years back, you did not have anything called as operations management. Okay, you used to have plant separately, production activities used to be done there. Okay, so they will just, whatever is the target, if the machine capacity is 1000 units for 1 week, they'll just produce the entire 1000 units. Okay, and the market would take up the whole thing, right? So earlier it was like that in the plant. Now, what has happened is operations management has been made front end of production management. Plant is nothing but production management. Okay, production management, let's see. Now operations has become the head now. Okay, whatever operations will tell the production, they will produce only that much. Because operations knows how much it can sell. Earlier that was not a problem. You produce whatever you can, market will take it. Now it is not like that. Okay. So which is why sometimes productions and operations management term is used. That is fine. It is same as operations management. So now this is the scope of productions and operations management is nothing but all your chapters have been enlisted here. Okay, all your chapters have been enlisted here. Okay, it starts with your location of facilities. Okay, as I said, I told you earlier, right at the beginning, right? The operations managers, his first concern comes with the location of facilities, where the plant should be located. okay, for cheaper production. First is location of facilities. Second is plant layout and material handling. Plants layout and material handling. After location, you will see the layout. How to layout means how can you set up the factory floor. Okay, so layout in location, let's say you wanted to see, okay, which climate will be good for your factory and all that you have seen, and you have decided that okay, this area is good. This is the location now you have chosen. Okay, now in this location, now your exact plant is going to be here, let us say. Okay, this the gray one is your plant. Now within the plant you have to arrange which kind of machines you will buy, what is your production, you know. Okay, so you will basically arrange the production line. There are say uh, 4 different kinds of production you are going to do. So this is one line, let us say, is one production line, and then this is another production line. Okay, and then say, okay, and if you want to connect both also, if it is possible that from here sometimes an order can go out or this order can go back here. Okay, if this order is used, this is used for this further production, then you will have to make arrangement for this at the layout stage only. Okay, now plants are so complex, you just cannot change whatever you want. Okay, so you have to plan it before and you have to lay the plant layout accordingly. Okay, and one layout, after the layout is over, you can have different processes. One process here is he's just producing this and this goes to the customer straight away from here. Okay, this becomes one process. Another process is he's producing this, then they are going here. It is going to this plant, then doing the further production, and this is going out. Like that, you can have several processes in a in one layout. Okay, simple example of layout and process is your, say, a chaat pani puri shop. Okay, if you go to that pani puri person, okay, using the same configuration, he will have the same things. Okay, some pani puris he will have some water and then some bhel or something like that. Okay, certain things he will have. Using that only he will produce 5-6 things, correct? He'll give you, you can order bhel, you can order pani puri, whatever, 5-6 things normally they give, right? So those 5-6 things are his processes. Okay, and the entire thing he has made arrangement such that he can produce 5-6 things of the same part. That is his layout. Okay, understood? So activities listed, there is scope of operations manager. One is location of facilities, plant layouts. Okay, then you have to design the product. Okay, what is going to be your product, that design you have to make. Okay, then process design. Okay, process design is after product, because once you know your product, only then you can design the process. If you design process first, okay, then probably then when you finalize the product, it might not be compatible with the process. That's why this is the order: product design, process design. And this number 4 is after number 2 actually. Plant layout. After plant layout, you will go for process design, but you will wait for product design. Okay. Then the production planning and control, which is your biggest chapter here. All these, as I said, are chapters. Doesn't mean like each one is not a chapter, but these are the contents of your chapters. Okay, all chapters. So this scope of operations management is your course basically, right? And then you have quality control. Okay, next after production planning and control would mean it will have everything. Okay, it will have basically how much to produce, and you will do scheduling and all, like which production has to be done now, which production has to start after 45 minutes. There'll be several customers, right? So production planning and control will be done using automated tools. Okay, so that is production planning and control. Okay. Just have you control the production systems. There are 100 customers, you should make sure that customer 47 is getting whatever he wants at the right time. It all has to be properly segregated, correct? You have to uh, do it in such a way that everyone gets whatever he wants at the right time. So humanly, it is not possible. You have to use tools. Okay. Next is quality control. While producing, you're giving it all fine. That's okay. Quality also has to be maintained. And last two are called as materials management and maintenance management. Okay. So after quality control, you have to do materials management is separate thing, because raw material is very costly for manufacturing companies. It is, they invest a lot in raw materials, so that's why they use materials management, which helps them reduce the cost. Okay. And maintenance management is basically for maintenance of plant machinery and all that. Okay. Maintenance of plant machinery, for that comes under maintenance management. This maintenance management is your last chapter, 7th chapter. Economics of maintenance and spares management. That is this maintenance management. So when we go for that chapter, you'll understand why this is treated as separate, because maintenance management, you cannot club maintenance and materials management. They are different things. This talks about raw materials, this talks about fixed assets. Right? So now, ठीक है, ये समझ में आया आप लोगों को? ये part is clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now there are two last questions in this chapter which we should know. After this chapter will be over. Okay. So the remaining time we will be able to complete it. So one is characteristics of modern operations function. Older manufacturing functions or modern operations functions. What is the difference? What are the characteristics? Okay. So one is manufacturing as a competitive advantage. Okay. So what it means is there are 4 points of this. Okay. ये 4 point हमको देखना है क्या क्या है. One is manufacturing as a competitive advantage. Second is services orientation. Okay. And third is disappearance of smoke stacks. And last is small has become beautiful. Okay. These are the 4 points in this. Okay. Once I now take you through this, you just have to remember the main headings. You will be able to write whatever is under it. Okay. So one is characteristics of modern operating functions. First point is manufacturing as competitive advantage. So now the difference between the past and now is, okay, now plants have excess capacities. Okay. Now plants have excess capacities. Okay. Competition is mounting and firms look and gain competitive advantage to survive and succeed. इसका क्या मतलब है? What is the meaning of this? It means that earlier, as I said, what used to happen is whatever the plant would just function. Whatever raw material has come, you produce it, send it to the go down. It was like that. Now it is not like that. Whatever you produce, market will not take it. Okay. So the problem is, if you have excess capacity, it's a loss for you. Correct? You have invested in an excess capacity. So basically, to just explain it to you, what it means is, for excess capacity, say, Mike, I have a total capital of 100. Okay. And if I divide it into, say, 60 and 40, whatever I can manufacture using this capital of 40, okay, only this much is being taken by the market. Okay. That means, and now I've invested 100. So had I invested only 60, and this 40 I would have kept in bank, let us say, or invested somewhere. I would have got some money, right, out of this. So, which is why you should always have only, you should invest only that much money which is needed for your production, which you are able to sell. If you have excess capacity, it's a loss for you. It's called as over capitalization. Okay. So plants have excess capacities, competition is mounting. So now firms have to do something to, they have to think of something, how to get competitive advantage. It's not like earlier that just produce everything. Okay. So production system offers vast scope to gain competitive edge. So using production systems, they can do many things. So there are certain things which have been told here. Okay. We will not discuss this at this stage because each of these have been discussed in detail in further chapters. Okay. So I'll just tell you what is it in short, but we won't discuss it at this point of time. Okay. So these are the production systems which help you to gain competitive advantage. Total quality management is TQM. It's a Japanese method. Okay. So it just says that it says keep on increasing, improving your quality in everything. Whatever you are doing, you have to improve your quality. That is the main thing behind TQM. Okay. We will discuss this later on. Okay. Next is time-based competition. Okay. So time-based competition is this another thing. Okay. Where you have to see uh, not just the when you are competing with someone, you also have to see that if say you want to send some goods to the market, right? Your products are good, but there is someone else who is able to send it earlier than you. And people who are waiting in the market, they will buy whatever they want. Correct? In short, ठीक है, मान लीजिए कि आप लोग कोई स्टेशन में रुके हैं, आप लोग भूखे हैं, ठीक है, आप लोग देख रहे हैं कोई नहीं मिल रहा, कोई नहीं मिल रहा, तो फिर कोई खाना लेके आया है, जैसे जो पहले आएगा आप उससे ले लोगे. करेक्ट? एनीवन who comes first, you will buy from that. After him, after half an hour, a very good quality person has come at a cheaper cost, but you will not wait for him, right? So that's the crux of time-based competition. So timing is important. Okay. Another thing is business process reengineering, BPRE. Okay. It just says that if it is not working, then start from the beginning. Say you have invested a lot, 100 rupees, which I told you. Okay. Whole 100 you have invested. So now, as per BPRE, now dismantle it and now invest only 60, and for in 40, just put it in some other business. That's what BPRE says. Okay. So my intention is not to explain you these things now, okay? Because we are going to go for it in detail later on, right? I'm just giving you some pointers, that's all. Okay. Now, just-in-time inventory is one more thing. Okay. It says that just as per just-in-time, if you want to manufacture something, you are keeping a go down, then you are wasting that much of space and money that go down. If you have good relations with the customer, with your supplier, okay, then whenever you want to, you are going to start the next batch, you just tell him, he'll directly bring that to the factory, your raw material. Okay, he'll bring the raw material to the factory and you can produce it directly. Otherwise, you will buy, you will keep it in the go down, and from go down to factory again, there is some cost, correct? So just in time is saying that just do everything in the right time, you can save money. Okay. Then similarly, you have what? Focused factory, flexible manufacturing systems. Okay. Flexible manufacturing systems is you keep manufacturing system that don't build it that you can only produce only one type of product. You build it in such a way that you can produce 3-4 kind of products. If one product is out of demand, you still have something else. So be flexible. Okay. And computer integrated manufacturing that we all know, like all SAP and all which we have, all software, that is computer integrated manufacturing. Virtual corporation, now we are one example of virtual corporation. Okay, normally real corporation would be where if we would have a physical class and you all would be sitting in that class. But now I'm sitting here somewhere in Bangalore, you're all sitting at various places, correct? And we are studying. So it's not a real class, it's a virtual class. Okay, that's called as virtual corporation. This has been made possible because of internet. So these are some of the techniques they have said. You don't have to remember everything. Just remember 3, 4 of it, which you will automatically know which to remember, because those things you will study in detail. So you will be able to remember that. Okay. So this is first thing is manufacturing as competitive advantage. So you have to use these modern tools to get competitive advantage. Right? Now, second is services oriented. Now, production system, okay, it has to be prepared keeping in mind service component, because you're selling the service. Now, production system cannot be independent. It has to be under the operations management. Okay, that's called a services orientation. So entire manufacturing needs to be geared to serve, that is, make the manufacturing in a way that you can serve intangible and perishable nature of the services. You have to make sure that whatever you are manufacturing and giving, okay, the customer demand is perishable. Perishable means although the goods which you are manufacturing might have a long life, but say today now the customer is saying, but in eatables market you can see that some new things keep coming up, some older things they keep going out. In Cadbury's you can see you had bubbly. Now bubbly is not that much in fashion. Now something else comes, another type of chocolate comes, this comes, that goes, this comes, correct? So which is why that's called as perishable nature of the services, because you are manufacturing the product but selling it to a customer, so it has become a service. And service is perishable because customers mood can change. Okay, so entire manufacturing needs to be geared to serve intangible and perishable nature of services, constant interaction with clients and customers. The front end people will have a constant interaction with your clients, what they want and all that, and they will pass it on to the factory and they will manufacture based on that. Okay, then small volumes to serve local markets, right? So one thing here is small volumes to serve local markets. If say I'm investing in my factory, say again, let me take as 100 as a small figure. Okay, 100 I am investing, and then after whatever I have to manufacture, I am sending it out to various customers. 1, okay, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'm sending, manufacturing and sending, right? So now, say for sending this, I have to spend, let us say, 10 rupees here. Okay, 10, 10, 10. Okay, I have to spend to send it to them. Okay, so now fine. So instead of that, if I, let us say, if I instead of investing whole 100 here, if I keep full small factories, I know that I've invested 25 here, I've invested 25 here. Okay, if I do like this, then I can avoid the transport cost, correct? Getting the point, right? Then I can avoid the transport cost. So this is what that point is saying. So instead of just investing whole lump sum in one place, just cut it, and based on your market, go and invest near your markets. Okay. Small volumes of production to serve local markets instead of producing whole thing at a far off place. Need to locate facilities to serve local markets. Okay, so you have to serve local markets, you should find uh, employees at local places. So try to hire the locals more. Okay, there is increased presence of professionals on the production instead of technicians and engineers. Earlier, there used to be only engineers and technicians. Now, there are more professionals because professionals is deciding now how much to produce, and then only the engineer is producing. Okay, so this is your basically okay. What is this? Uh, your services orientation. Fine. This is your services orientation. Okay. The first one, what we studied was manufacturing as competitive advantage. Okay. Manufacturing, see the bold portions. Okay. Manufacturing as competitive advantage. And so in that, you just have to give examples of your TQM, GIT, 2, 3 things like that. Okay. Services orientation. Okay. So this is second. These are what are these characteristics of modern operation functions. Okay. Then one more characteristic is disappearance of smokestacks. Earlier, whenever I thought of factory when I was young, I always thought of some smoky place where boiler is giving out smoke, chimney is giving out smoke. Okay, some black things here and there. Okay, maybe you also. But nowadays, if you go to newer factories, it is like a scenic place. Okay, this is one of the characteristics of modern operating functions. So they are actually aesthetically built, like very nicely built. It's like a picnic spot. So this is all just to attract more and more employees. Okay, and then they also give good facilities like schooling and all that. Okay, that's also part of this to attract facilities. So this trend nowadays is your factory now from the outside it should look very good, aesthetic. Okay, becomes a scenic spot. Example is ABB, L&T, Smith Klein, and Beecham. L&T I know myself because my relative used to work in L&T. So L&T has in Maharashtra,
Larger and turbo, sir.
Larsen and Turbo, Tubro. Okay, so so in L&T, what used to happen is they had in Maharashtra there is a place called Awarpur. So they have one full settlement of L&T employees, teachers and all. There's a colony, and like I used when I went there, I saw it was very good, so clean and nice. We used to think that I mean we should stay in such a place. We used to think. So that is why these companies do that. So people should, on seeing them, they should feel that they should work for that company. Okay. So this is one of the modern okay. This is one of the modern characteristics. Last is small has become beautiful. Again, the same thing with the example which I gave you before, that 100 should be split into 25 and invested in places closer to the market. So that's what was said by E.F. Schumacher. Remember the name, okay, important. He wrote a book called Small is Beautiful. He said that don't go for giant organizations, okay, go for intermediate technology, that is smaller technology, smaller working units, okay, and go to regional places close to your market. Okay, and community ownership is something like what Amul does. Okay, so the cows are owned by farmers, right, and the insurance and all are done by Amul. Okay, that's called as community ownership. Okay, so that is called that is the concept of small is beautiful. Okay, so don't invest everything at one place. Try to break it off. Last thing is before we complete this chapter now, right? So this is clear. So these are 4 points you should know. This is very important. Okay, small has become beautiful, and see the headings. Just see the titles. You will be able to write it. Okay, just go through the video once. You will be able to write. Then After that, just remember these headings. Manufacturing is competitive advantage, use TQM, GIT, etc. Then services orientation, all manufacture, whatever you manufacture, the front end is a service. Disappearance of smokestacks. Now there's no more a smoky place. Small has become beautiful. So don't invest whole capital at one place. Okay, cut it and invest it near your customers. So two questions similar but different. They will ask you like this only. One is characteristic of modern operations functions. Then you should give 4 points. This. If they ask you recent trends in production operations management, then this. First is recent trend is global marketplace. Please. Okay. So because now there is marketplace in all countries, other countries can come here, right? So Amazon is a multinational, many multinationals are there. It has become a global marketplace. So now you are not competing just with our people, but also with foreign manufacturers. So this is one of the recent trend of production operations management. Next is productions operations strategy. Okay. So nowadays, uh, lots of productions and operations strategy is being used. Okay, there is a need for doing that. Okay, so because as we know that now there is lots of over capitalization, and you are not able to sell everything that you produce. So lots of productions operations strategy is needed. Strategies are nothing but your JIT and all that, JIT and all that, right? That those are the strategies. So TQM again, total quality management is also a recent trend. Okay. So achieve customer satisfaction by a never-ending quest for improving quality of goods and services. Okay, that's total quality management. Quality in everything it is. Okay. So then flexibility. So you can be flexible. Okay, so that whatever is required you can produce. That is called as agile manufacturing. Okay, right? So that's what I said, like if you, instead of producing just one thing, just make capability where you can produce 4 things. If one has gone out of market, you still have options. That's called as agile manufacturing. Okay, don't be static production company. Okay, one that thing is gone, then you have to dismantle your factory, right? The next is time reduction. This is also one of the features. Okay, speed to market. So your everything is good, but the other person's speed to market is more than you are gone. The example of food in station, which I gave you, right? Then technology. So now because of technology, internet and all, right? It has changed the way in which companies operate. This is a recent trend, technology. Okay. So see, if you know the word technology, you can write these things. Okay. You don't have to learn the internal things. Just read once what it is. That's it. Based on that, you can write one sentence. One sentence is all you need to explain each of these things. Worker involvement. Nowadays, what is happening is workers are being more powerful. Okay, they are being assigned some responsibilities. So now they feel that they belong to the company. Okay, it's called as worker involvement and empowerment. Okay, so they should feel that they are a part of the company, right? So it's called as quality circles and all, where the workers themselves decide. They see whether the quality is good enough. So whatever someone has produced, some workers only they will be head of the quality circles, and they'll check and see whether that's good quality or not. Fine. Then re-engineering. Re-engineering is business process re-engineering, which we saw earlier also. Okay. BPRE. So this is again a clean slate approach. That means, as I said, like if you have invested 100 and now you are not able to do anything, it is a very, the system which you have designed is are not able to do anything with it. And what re-engineering says is just dismantle it fully. and build from the beginning. If you try to correct that little by little, it will become more and more complex. Instead of that, start from the beginning. ठीक है, समझ में आया? Okay, then next is environmental issues. Okay, so nowadays production managers are concerned with environment, production control and all, because it's all internet time. Anyone can write a review on anyone. So if a company is doing something harmful to the environment, then what will happen is everyone will start speaking about it in internet forums and all. So they have to be very careful about their waste disposal, okay, pollution control and all that. So they have to be very careful nowadays. Okay, otherwise their reputation will be spoiled. Similarly, reducing waste, using less toxic chemicals, biodegradable materials, all these are important. If you don't do it, then one day or the other, your name will be spoiled. Sometimes some other companies can also initiate it against you, okay, your competitors. Then corporate downsizing is reduce the size. If you invest more capital than is required, then you will go in loss. Okay, if you need 60, invest 60 only. More than that, then you will have to shut down one day. Okay, that's called as corporate downsizing or right sizing. Then supply chain management. Okay, ये मालूम है आपको क्या है supply chain management?
यस सर, वो जैसे डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन होता है ना, जो
तो
मैन्युफैक्चर करते हैं उसका जाता है दुकान में रिटेलर्स के पास, चाहे उसके बीच का जो प्रोसीजर है.
right. Okay, the supply chain management is basically the entire supply chain. That is right from when you are getting the product, getting the raw material from someone, from your supplier. Okay, from your supplier you are getting, your manufacturing, then you are sending out to your customer. That entire chain is your supply chain. So you have to manage the entire supply chain properly, right? And invest things in such a way that you can reduce your transport cost in supply chain management. Supply chain management is also something which all big companies do. They have a separate department here, supply chain management. Okay, and because of supply chain management, lots of costs are reduced as well. Okay, last is lean production system. Okay, lean production system means what is done is they create a factory in such a way using the same machinery, lots of things can be produced. That's called as lean production system. Too much variety can be produced with the same configuration. That kind of system is a lean production system. Okay, they're flexible. They need multi-skilled workforce. Why they require multi-skilled workforce? Because they are manufacturing too many things. Not all workers, normal workers will not be capable of handling it, right? You need to have workflows who have many skills, workers who can manufacture many different kinds of products. Okay, so have advantages of job production as well as job production, that is craft production. Okay, mass production or job production. They can do when mass production is required, that also they can do. When job production is required, that also they can do. Okay, that is called as lean production system. तो बस ये हमारा इसके साथ जो है आपका चैप्टर 1 हमारा खत्म हुआ. ठीक है, नेक्स्ट वी विल टू स्टार्ट विद चैप्टर 2. आपको इसमें से इज देयर एनी पॉइंट व्हिच यू वांट टू आस्क मी?
नहीं सर, कुछ पूछना था, वो रिकॉर्डिंग ऑफ कर.
ये पॉइंट में से
कोई दिक्कत नहीं है.
नहीं है? ठीक है, so you are all fine.
Yes, sir.
सर रिकॉर्डिंग ऑफ कीजिएगा.
Okay then. Okay, thank you. So we will continue with next chapter in the next session.